أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. Today is very important surah. You would realize at the end when we discuss. But first, Surah Nahl. And the surah I'm referring to is Bani Israel. We have talked about it and after the Salatul Fajr in the morning, one session, but I could not complete. But today I will not go into detail, but we will complete inshallah the surah. But Surah Nahl first. Nahl means bee, and asl means the honey. So there is a saying Nahl wal asl, the bee and the honey. Surah Nahl talks about that the person has been given the choice, freedom of choice. Accept it, accept the religion, or reject it. Choice is yours. Now you will have to face the consequences in the life hereafter. So that is one. So in other words, there is no compulsion, no coercion on anyone to believe in Islam. It's your choice. You're not doing any favor either to anyone else or to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's your benefit. If you accept it, it's your choice. Now, it also gives the historical background among the Christians and the Bani Israel that they had the habit of worshipping, almost under inverted comma, almost worshipping their saints, their so-called Awliya Allah and Buzurgan Deen, their religion. They had that sort of a tendency. And that's true, that in every religion you have got those, the people, they almost close to worship their saints and whatever. They are scholars. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says it is abhorring, it is a detesting thing. Because you don't need a means in between. Although we talk about WASEELA, but that WASEELA is the means how to come closer to Allah. WASEELA does not mean, and they give example, I feel surprised. I mean, they really, in effect, they make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala much low. How? They give the example that if you have to meet a big officer, you have to go in between through a secretary, through his PA, and those sort of things. You can't just simply go and meet an officer. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has come to that level, that low level. Our Allah is Alim, is Sami, is Basir. In the whole world, wherever a person is, he speaks. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, he listens. Wherever a person, whatever he is doing, he is seeing with himself. But an officer, would he be able to see even, he can't see even beyond this wall, beyond that room. So therefore, we should not make Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so low level that he also needs someone in between, just like a PA and assistant. So-called these Buzurgan Deen or these scholars are in between like a PA and assistant to an officer. So we have to go through them. No, nothing of the sort. Quran rejects it, and in explicit terms it rejects it. It says, I am closer to you than this. Jugular vein. You see? نحن أقرب إليه منكم من حبل الوريد. نحن أقرب إليه من حبل الوريد. We are closer to you than your jugular vein. What else could be closer now? This is the life vein, life blood vessel. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks in this. We have to remember this. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala answers. People ask, and this is many times. Yes, Allah ayyana yawmul qiyamah. You see that now? And in the other verses, Yasalunaka anis-saati ayyana mursaha. They ask you, O Prophet, when the Qiyamah is going to come. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala turns the table. He says, have you prepared for it? Have you prepared for it? And exactly the same answer was given by Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was asked when the Qiyamah will come, they say, have you prepared for it? Number one. Number two, when we die, that is our Qiyamah. When we die, that is our Qiyamah. Because after that, we are not in a position to do anything. When the Qiyamah will come, the breastfeeding woman will forget who she was breastfeeding. Now, to that extent, you could imagine. And of course, the pregnant lady will abort and the rest of it. It won't be time left. So why are you asking about when the Qiyamah is? When you die, and you will definitely die, that is your Qiyamah day. So we have to remember that. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam will be asked question, what did you do with the message? And then he says, well, I took the message to the people, and from my side I did justice. Now, Quran, when the people, if they have read a novel, there are certain novelists, the way they draw the scenario is unbelievable. Unbelievable. In our culture, there is a person, well-known novelist. He writes on the novel about the zulm of a zamindar, the tyranny of a landlord, what they used to do. Yeah? He himself is the son of a zamindar. But he is just, because he's become big novelist, so he is now drawing this scenario. When you read it, you feel like, my God, so landlord was so zalim, so brute force, that's the way. But he himself belonged to that class, but he is writing now. So it doesn't matter who you find it out. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when He draws the scenario, no one could come anywhere close to it. It gives a beautiful scene. But do we read it? No. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives in the Quran what will happen when someone dies. And that's the reason, it is a bit of digression, but I tell you, I'll always advise you, Surah Fajr. Surah Fajr, last juz, Quran, most of the people remember it, but at least go and read. And I always say we should pray. When the Quran, when the Surah Fajr says, Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna, irji'i ila rabbiki raziyatan marziyah. When the person is dying, the angel will come, and then they will use two different options. Either a warm welcome, or a person will be driven like a criminal. وَالنَّازِيَاتِ غَرْقًا, by those angels who drown in the inner depth till the tips of the fingers, and then they just simply take the soul out. وَالنَّازِيَاتِ غَرْقًا, कसम उन फरिश्तों की जो डूब कर करके रूह को निकालते हैं, because the ruh will not like to come. وَالنَّاشِطَاتِ نَشْطًا, and by those angels who take their spirit, and the spirit just simply wants to come out, because going to see the Lord, because the spirit and the ruh at that time knows what I am going to be welcome with, as a criminal or a welcome. So that's the reason this Surah Fajr, I always say that we should do Dawah. We should do Dawah. Oh Allah, make me one of those. Ya ayyatuhan nafsul mutma'inna. At the time of death, the angels say, O contented and the peaceful soul, irji ila rabbiki raziyatan marziyah. Return to your Lord. You yourself are pleased and Allah is pleased with you. And then Allah says, Fadkhuli fi ibadi, fadkhuli jannati. Oh, enter among my servants and enter in my garden. Allah, because this, they cannot say the angels. So the angels first portion, and the next Allah says, we should do dua to Allah. Similarly, just look, I am not one place. Allazina tawaffahum al-malaikatu. Those whom the angels take out the soul, the spirit, zalimi anfusihim, who are doing wrong to themselves, who are not in good shape. Not at the time of death only. The whole lifestyle was as if this person has forgotten his Lord. He has forgotten Allah. He has forgotten that one day he will die. He has forgotten that he will be accountable to whatever his deeds. He leads his life, eat and drink, be merry, for tomorrow thou shalt die anyway. That's it, be happy. He himself and his wife and his children, that's what he's worried about. You see that now? So now Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Allazina tawaffahum al-malaikatu zalimi anfusihim, who are doing wrong to themselves, who are absolutely oblivious of the fact that they are going to be accountable. And accountability is running fast. We are as if in a train, is leaving the world faster and reaching the hereafter much more faster, is towards its goal. Because now, the way the time is going, we are coming closer to our death. That's the reason. I don't celebrate birthday. And not only I don't celebrate, I feel surprised. Man, 1 year less, 1 day less, what is there to celebrate? I am closer to death. He is celebrating, and now he is an 80-year-old man, still he is celebrating. And not only that, recently I heard a person died, and after a few days was his birthday, and his wife and his children went to a hotel and ate. That's what he would have wished. Haji Allah, where would you go from there? He needs that. If he has got that much money, he spent in the way of Allah, at least in the name for that man who is dead. No, that's what he would have wished, to go to hotel after a few days of the death. Where have we come from? Who we are following? So says Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and about those, the angels will take out their souls and spirit who are in a bad shape, who are not in a good state. فَأَلْقَوُا السَّلَمَ. Then they will know, I can do nothing. So they will surrender. Of course, they have to surrender. فَأَلْقَوُا السَّلَمَ مَا كُنَّا نَعْمَلُ مِنْ سُوءٍ. We were not doing anything bad. They will surrender themselves. What else they can do? So they don't have any power. Now the angels have come to take the soul and the spirit out. They will surrender. They will say, we were not doing anything bad. Just like in this world, you see. Bala, why not? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Bala, why not? You were in a bad shape. You absolutely forgot that you will have to face accountability one day. Your lifestyle. You had time for everything else. You didn't have time to go through it. You didn't realize what shape you will be in. Inna Allah alimun bima kuntum ta'malun. Fadkhulu abwaba jahannam. Enter in the gate of hell. Khalidina fiha, abiding therein forever. For bi'sa maswal mutakabbirin. So how evil and how bad is the refuge and shelter for those arrogants. They were arrogant. In this world, they never felt that they will have to face accountability. No, just the opposite. These are zalimi and fasim, who are doing wrong things or who are in a wrong state. And that's the reason I must tell that we must do dua, that oh Allah, I should die in a good state. It is not in our house. It is not in our hand how we will die. We should always do dua, Allah. My death should not be the one that it becomes ibrah or lesson for others, that they say, oh, what a death. We should have a death in a good state. We should be doing something good. Now look here, the opposite. Allazina tawaffahum al-malaikatu. As for those, the angels take the soul out, tayyibin. They are good ones. They are in a good state. They remembered that they will have to face accountability of their deeds. And therefore they always kept on analyzing and checking their purity of intention, purity of heart, purity of their nafs. Whatever they are doing, are they really for the sake of Allah? Or are they doing for the sake of name, fame, popularity, this, that and the other? They've got something else. I give the money and the people know that I'm a very charitable person. Keep on checking. Because a person may start, as I have mentioned, is shaitan. Auzu billah. You may have started doing good deed with a purity of intention, but then in between it messes up. Now the intention little bit sort of, and you remember this statement, you will not hear too often. No man with ghairah would like his wife to be shared by another man. Remember this. The man who is besharam, behaya, then he could do anything. No man with any ghairah, any hamiyah, any sense of shame would not accept his wife to be shared by another man. Did you hear now? You understood it? Similarly, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would not like any deed to be shared by anyone. Does it make sense? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala se ghariyur kaun ho sakta hai? Usko sharm aati is baat pe. If you do anything and there is little bit intention, so finished. He will not accept that. It has to be purely for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's not easy. Easy to say, as I am saying, it is very difficult. I ask myself question, if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala asks me, forget about him, he asks me, okay, bring a deed which you have done only for me. I do not know I will be able to show anyone or anything. It's very difficult. Always shaitan ka dum pachi laga hua kam waqt. Tail end kahin na kahin. So we should be very careful. So then the angels, when they take out the soul from those tayyibin, people who were in good shape, yaquluna assalamu alaikum. They will say assalamu alaikum. Peace be on you. Udkhulul jannata, enter in the paradise bima kuntum ta'malun, because what you used to do, you deserve it. Enter. See that now, the two different scenario. Did you understand me? And I could keep on quoting at the time of death what the angels will say to a person who is not in good shape. Yes, a different matter. We could keep on calling Ghazi and Shahid and the rest of it. It's us, the person who's all his life, you could see that he has never remembered Allah, and yet we call them Shahid, mashallah, and Ghazi. Call it. It's your mouth and your tongue. But that's what we do. And then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the B. Obviously, I will skip that. Look here now. Wallahu akhrajakum min batuni ummahatikum. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has brought you out of the mother's womb. La ta'lamuna shay'a. You didn't know anything. Waja'ala lakum as-sama wal absar wal af'ida. And He has made for you the hearing, the eyesight, and the heart. La'allakum tashkurun, so that you could be grateful. We should ask ourselves question. And in another place, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in Quran that you're going to be asked about this, about your ears, about your eyes, and about your heart. Now this ayah I'm going to read, all of you should know and should tell me. إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. All of you know it. I don't have it up. Jummah khutbah. Yes, you agree. Almost. It is not a must in Jummah khutbah. I must tell Jummah khutbah what it needs. And when a Muslim says that I do not know how to lead the Jummah khutbah, that's a disaster. He should know. He should know how to do Jummah khutbah. He should know how to do nikah. He should know how to do Salatul Janaza. You see that now? What will be the best Salatul Janaza? Then the son. Father has died, the son should lead. और मौली साहब को पढ़ाना, मौली साहब को पढ़ाइए रहे हैं, तो मौली साहब को क्या अगर पढ़ेगा? मौली साहब को दिल में दर्द है? बेटा जो पढ़ाएगा नमाज जनाजा, उसकी बात ही कुछ और है, उसका दिल उस वक्त रो रहा होगा. He would be crying, and then he would be leading the prayer, and then obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will listen to his prayer. It's coming from the depth of his heart. We have not been trained anything. बेटा बहुत अच्छा कर रहा है, GCSE या A level में recent engineer. That's it. कब्र में nothing, no pension. So now 3 things positive, 3 things negative, 3 things order. Inna Allah ya'murukum. The people, they know amr means order. Wishy-washy nahi. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commands you bil adl. Number 1, justice. Number 2, ihsan. Ihsan means doing any deed with beauty. Ihsan, husn is part of it. So doing anything, but anything with beauty. So a believer, whatever he does with beauty. If he studies, he does with beauty. If he works with beauty. Employer has to be happy with him. He does with beauty. He puts that extra effort into it. That's the way a believer is supposed to be, isn't it? So there was a time that people used to hire us. Now we don't want to. And they give the blood relatives. So these are the 3 positive things. Adl. We must remember we are very poor in adl. If it is question of my father, I cannot talk adl. Quran says explicitly, talk adl, do justice, even if it is against you, against your father, against your blood relative. But the same parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks, first thing, la tushrik billah wa bil walidaini ihsana. The very next. But on the other hand, over emphasize about parents. They are door to hello heaven. Choose one or the other. Choice is yours. However, the same parents, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when it is justice, no. وَإِن جَاهَدَاكَ عَلَىٰ أَن تُشْرِكَ بِي مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ فَلَا تُطِعْهُمَا. Do not obey them. If they talk to associate partner which you are not aware of, other than Allah, don't follow them. وَاتَّبِعْ سَبِيلَ مَنْ أَنَابَ إِلَيَّ ثُمَّ إِلَيَّ مَرْجِعُكُمْ فَأُنَبِّئُكُم بِمَا كُنتُمْ تَعْمَلُونَ. But follow those who repents to Allah, and so on. So this is a quality of a believer. His tongue says nothing but adl. Whether he belongs to a jamaat, he belongs to a party, he belongs to a community, Nothing. Adl is abstract form. If it is between Muslim and a non-Muslim, you cannot favor Muslim because there is a Muslim. No. If it's a non-Muslim, say non-Muslim is right here. Actually, you are zalim. So, but these things are not emphasized. So, and we have got this role of justice in everything. Between me and my wife, adl, justice. Because I am qawwam, therefore I will shut her up? No. Because I am the father, therefore I will shut my children? No. Adl. If I am at mistake, my son should tell me. I actually tell my children. And I have told the other way around as well. I saw a person in the mosque when I came to UK. I came long time ago when perhaps one or two were born. 1977, I saw a person in 60s and his son in 30s, and he told, you know, Dad, just like this, look at this finger. You know, Dad? And my heart sank. I thought, oh my. So I have got such a big price to pay simply to be in England. My son is going to say, you know, Dad? Finger pointing and then telling, you know, Dad, you're wrong. And one day my son also told, you know, Dad, I think you're wrong. So I just simply turned around and disappeared. From there I was absolutely furious. He realized. And then he came, Daddy, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have told. Yes, you should have. You should never say to me on my face, I'm wrong. There are ways to tell the things. In England, that's what you are taught, but that does not mean everything is right. You see, I give examples so that you understand, because there are young kids here as well. There were two friends, both saints, Buzurg. One was very poor, one was very rich. So the poor, he did not visit his rich friend. He didn't like that he's so rich, he has got a big house, he lives with mansion and those sort of things, servants. So, but after a while, after all, they were very close friends, he went and visited him to teach him the lesson, the poor friend. So he went and visited him, and they embraced each other after such a long time, and they had chat. And then after that, when the Salah time came, this poor friend, who was also Buzur, big Wali Allah, so he is washing his hand, keeps on washing. You could do 3 times max. What is going on? Just wasting water. He is rinsing his mouth, and he's rinsing his mouth many times. So his friend saw. So he told, you're wasting, this is israf, you're wasting water. That's what he was doing deliberately. So he looked at his face, and he looked at his big house, and he looked at his all servants, and didn't say a word. They were not idiots. They were both big scholars. They could understand that much. If this is israf, what about this big house? What about all these number of servants? This is not israf. And you're telling me water only I'm wasting in wudu is israf? Haji Allah. Does it make sense? So I told my children, you better be careful. You must tell that I am wrong. But not on my face, the way you talk, they're completely two different things. You tell your father wrong in a sort of an invisible way, in a very sensitive way. You tell your son, shut up. You've got a right, you could tell. There are ways to tell things. But that does not mean I don't want to reach my Lord committing mistake all my life. My son, he is close to me, he should tell. My wife should tell me that no, what I'm doing is not right. So, adl, remember this, is a quality of a believer, and we are hopeless in adl. And similarly, ihsan, we are not good in ihsan. We don't do things very good. We should try to look after. And I always tell that I had one agenda always on my head. I wanted to prove that I am the best son of my father. Then I wanted to prove that I am the best brother of my brothers and sisters. Then I wanted to prove that I'm the best husband. You go and ask my wife, she will never say yes. But I wanted to prove myself to be the best husband. And then I wanted to prove that I'm the best father. And the last thing was, when I've got 4 sons, 4 daughter-in-laws in my home, and then I have got only one agenda. I told my wife, you went out all your anger on me in another room, but I have got only one agenda. I want to prove in England we could have 4 daughter-in-laws in my home and there will be no fight, no argument. I will cry, you may cry, I told my wife, but this is on my head, I have to prove that. And alhamdulillah, the people were shocked. And not one day, not 1 month, not 1 year. And then after that, I told them, well, okay, before I death, I want you to be on your feet. I just had that agenda. You must have an agenda over your head. I want to prove I'm the best father, the best brother, the best son, the best husband. And then only if you could take it as challenge. Wa'afu bi'adillah, fulfill the promises and covenants or contracts which we have done with Allah. Do we look after the ahd? We have got only one agenda. We come and pray. And even then we do not know what we are praying. So how it is going to have effect on me? How my hairs are going to stand out? This morning, Imam Sahib has recited Surah Qaf in the Salatul Fajr. Believe me, if you read it and you leave the translation, the hair stand out. Is that tough? Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَإِذَا قَرَأْتَ الْقُرْآنَ فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. When you read Quran, then start with فَاسْتَعِذْ بِاللَّهِ أَعُوذُ بِاللَّهِ مِنَ الشَّيْطَانِ الرَّجِيمِ. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أُدُوا إِلَى سَبِيلِ رَبَّكَ بِالْحِكْمَةِ وَالْمَوْعِظَةِ الْحَسَنَةِ. Both is very well-known ayah. You call the people towards Islam, towards your Lord with hikmah, with wisdom. Some people, they call to Allah all right, but the way they call, no hikmah, no wisdom. Wal mu'izata hasana, and a good exhortation, अच्छी नसीहत के साथ. वजादिलहुम बिल्लती है ahsan, and dispute with them in a good way. Inna rabbaka huwa a'lamu biman zalla an sabilihi wa huwa a'lamu bil muhtadin. Certainly your Lord knows best who is astray from his path and who is most guided. He knows it. So in other words, if we invite towards religion, it should be in a beautiful way. It shouldn't be that I have got on my head that, oh, I am a caller to Islam and therefore I start calling the people in a way that is not very attractive, and the people are not willing to listen, but still I keep on as if it is a tape record, you put it on. I know many religious people, they've got that tendency. It backfires actually. It puts a bad taste in the mouth. People are not willing to listen. They start giving lectures and sermons. You should wait till the people are in a position or they are willing to listen to understand. But just simply khade ho gaye. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, don't do, because you will do disfavor. Inna Allah ma'allazina taqaw wallazina hum muhsinun. Certainly Allah is with those who are righteous and those who do the things in a better way, in a good way. Now Bani Israel. This was Surah Nahl. A few points I tried to give the glimpse. Bani Israel. This is what you would like to hear. Two Bani Israel, two Jews were walking by in Mecca, and they're told to each other, these two, that we hear, that there is a prophet now in Mecca. Let us go and talk to him. Ask about the commandments which Moses got. If he is a true prophet, he will know it. Now you should remember the 10 commandments. I'm going to read. The reason is I'm going to read after that the 14 commandments in Quran which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, but not in the name that it was 14 commandments, don't misquote me, but 14 points I will quote, and just try to see between the two how similar they are. In other words, they are from the same source. If the 10 commandments is from one source and this commandments which is in Bani Israel from another source, then you will find discrepancy. But look at the similarity, 10 commandments. So these two Jews, they went to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam told the 10 commandments. They both became Muslim. They told, well, he's not imposter. Number 1, do not associate partner with anyone. 10 commandments, number 1. That is with us as well. Number 2, do not commit adultery or fornication. And that's with us as well. Wala yaznun. وَالَّذِينَ لَا يَدُونَ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَٰهًا آخَرَ وَلَا يَقْتُلُونَ النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ إِلَّا بِالْحَقِّ وَلَا يَزْنُونَ. believers do not commit adultery or fornication. Again here, zina na karo. There, second point. Third, do not kill anyone. For us as well, do not kill anyone. Number 4, do not steal, us as well, because otherwise the hands will be chopped off. Do not use sorcery or magic. Number 5. Number 6, do not go to any person in authority to let him know about someone has committed crime, to win his favor. You know, these are people, you have got all sorts of people. They go to Hukam, district magistrate or SDO or police officer or SP or whatever, and they try to get their favor. Do not take interest. Number 7. Do not accuse or blame any chaste woman. That's number 8. Number 9. Do not flee away from the jihad, Maidan jihad, from the battlefield. And number 10, do not do any excess or commit wrong on the day of Sabbath. Sabbath for them, 10 you heard. Now this Surah Bani Israel, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam to Baitul Maqdis, Jerusalem, yeah? Now this is all Quran says. Quran does not talk about Miraj, remember that statement. Quran talks about just simply taking to Medina, Asra. Asra means travel in the night. Took from Haram to the Baitul Maqdis, Jerusalem. But after that, from there, when he went ascended up, so it does not talk about ascension, does not talk about Mi'raj. But now I count again now. These are the commandments, Sunnah Bani Israel, in one place. Number 1. Before that. Inna hazal Quran yahdi lillati hiya aqwam. Certainly this is the Quran which guides to the appropriate or right thing. Wa yubashshir al-mu'minin, gives glad tidings to the believers. Allazina ya'maluna salihat, those who do the good job or righteous job. Anna lahum ajran kabira, that they will have a big reward. Now after that, wa kulla insanin, and every person, alzamnahu ta'irahu fi unuqihi, we have stuck or hanged his fortune or his book of deeds in his neck. We have held or hanged the book of deeds in his neck. وَنُخْرَجُ لَهُ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ كِتَابًا يَلْقَاهُ مَنْشُورًا. And on the day of resurrection we will take it out. This book will be absolutely open. This book of deeds, his book of deeds. But look what else. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, اقرأ كتابك. Read your book. Exact translation. Read your book, under bracket, book of deeds. اقرأ كتابك. Read your book. كفى بنفسك اليوم عليك حسيبا. This is enough to take your accountability against you. Oh my God, Allahu Akbar. Read your book of deeds. This is enough. This book of deeds. Which book of deeds? وَالَّذِينَ يَقُولُونَ رَبَّنَا مَا لِهَذَا الْكِتَابِ ووزع الكتاب, Surah Kahf, ووزع الكتاب فترى المجرمين مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون ما لهذا الكتاب. And when the book of deeds will be presented, ووزع الكتاب فترى المجرمين, you will see the sinners and the criminals مشفقين مما فيه, they will be scared of what is therein. What in the book of deeds, what they had been doing on this earth, they will be scared, they will be dreading it, they will be fearful. مشفقين مما فيه ويقولون, and they will say ما لهذا الكتاب, what sort of a book is this? لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة, they have not, it has not left even the small or a big thing, whatever it is, it has recorded. ما لهذا الكتاب, what sort of a kitab book is this? لا يغادر صغيرة ولا كبيرة إلا أحصاها, it has enumerated it. It has enumerated it, it has counted it, it has recorded it. وَوَجُدُوا مَا عَمِلُوا حَاضِرًا, and they will find whatever they have done in this earth. وَلَا يَظْلَمُ رَبُّكَ أَحَدًا, and your Lord is not the one to do zulm. Now you could see that when we read it and try to understand it, our heart goes like this, oh God, I'm not in shape. But if we don't understand, if we don't have time, and we read like absolutely deaf, dumb person, And this, the way we are told that you can't understand Quran. Quran is beyond you. This is absolutely awful. All those people who say this, they will be severely accountable on the Day of Judgment. They will have no answer. Everyone could understand Quran. It is just like any book. You read it. There are certain things if you don't understand. We have got easily available scholars. Go and ask. But absolute bulk, you could just simply read translation, you will understand it. You know, if you want to go into more detail, what was the background that this ayah was revealed, and what was who were the first audience, why it was revealed. Okay, you could go into detail, no problem. But so far the meaning of the ayah is concerned, straight. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala otherwise should have told that it is only for scholars to understand. No, he says, us, use your aql. Look now, when we read Quran, then you realize, you know, I always hear that why this state of the Muslim is bad. Oh, because we have gone away from deen, you know. Well, go ahead then. Tell me then how to come to deen. Is it the way to come to deen that I come to the masjid? Or is it the way to come to deen that I do more and more and more so-called ritualistic limited version of ibadah? Man, when I am in the shop and I am selling the things, I am doing ibadah. When I am walking, I am doing ibadah. When I am working as an employee, I am doing an ibadah. When I am laughing at my wife, I am doing ibadah. Can you believe it? When I am laughing at my wife, I am doing ibadah. When I am producing children, I am doing ibadah. What sort of ibadah? We have got now the meaning ibadah means coming to the mosque, and that's all. No wonder we do not have those quality. We don't have that confidence, that faith that if I am doing, you are in a shop, worldly affair. What do you mean by worldly affair? He is the most zahid and abid person. Rasulullah, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the day of resurrection, he will bring who? A tajir. First three things. First the king, then the tajir, then the qazi. So the tajir, why tajir? Because if he earn the money halal, is the ibadah he is doing. But these sort of things, the way our ibadah has been made very limited. But look here now. Quran, what it says, وَإِذَا أَرَدْنَا أَن نُهْلِكَ قَرْيَةً. And when we intend, we have decided to finish off a land, a city, a township. When we decide to finish up, नुहलिक हिलाक कर देने का, जब हम किसी बस्ती को हिलाक करने का हम फैसला कर लेते हैं, अल्लाह ताला is telling. So وَإِذَا أَرَدْنَا أَن نُهْلِكَ قَرْيَةً أَمَرْنَا مُتْرَفِيهَا. Then the command is rich, educated, elite, leader class, wealthy class, mutraf, the one who lived the life of comfort and luxury. Then we tell these people, command them for what? فَفَسَقُوا فِيهَا, to disobey Allah. And then what did they do? فَحَقَّ عَلَيْهِ الْقَوْلِ فَدَمَّرْنَاهُ تَدْمِيرًا. Then we crush them and destroy them. These people. So what happens? When the whole qawm, if you want to know what is going to happen to this qawm, look at the rich and educated class. Rich, elite class, educated nowadays. But you could include, of course. So rich, wealthy class, leader class, what they are doing, mutrafin. If they are misguided, समझ लो कि कौम की हालत खराब है, उड़ गए. But that's what is happening to us. All the rich class, all the leader class, all the elite class, they are most distorted people among the Muslims. So the Muslims really should have had a social grip. You know what does it mean? What it means is if a Muslim in the Muslim community, if he has got a rich, the Muslim masses should take accountability. पैसा कहाँ से लाया? हराम के कमा के उसके बाद भी सर उठा के जी रहा है? Get off now from here. But the Muslim community does not. They know that this chap is thoroughly corrupt to the core, but because he has got more money, so हाली महाली भी चले आए, बड़ा बड़ा दिमाग भी उनके साथ लगा हुआ है. Aji Allah. Where would you go? No wonder the qawm is in such a bad shape. The Muslim community should have had a big social grip. No respect for these person who earn haram, who take rushwa, who usurp the land, who take someone else's inheritance, who sell the office. There is no question of any respect. But our society, that's what we are getting. So no wonder the corruption is so rampant. Because the person who is corrupt, he knows he will have respect. Just think, see the things around in your country, in my country. That is what is happening. So if we would have gone through the Quran, we should have realized that we would not be in this bad shape. So that's what it means. Keep now counting. Number 1. La tajal ma'allah ilahan akhira. No associating partner with Allah. Same thing like 10 commandments. Number 2. وَقَضَى رَبُّكَ أَلَّا تَعْبُدُوا إِلَّا إِيَّاهُ وَبِالْوَالِدَيْنِ إِحْسَانًا. With the parents, be kind. Good words. إِمَّا يَبْلُغَنَّ عِنْدَكَ الْكِبَرَ أَحَدُهُمَا وَكِلَاهُمَا. If these parents reach the old age, one of them or both of them, فَلَا تَقُلْ لَهُمَا uff. Do not say even uff. وَلَا تَنْهَرْهُمَا. Do not scold them or shout at them or raise voice in front of them. وَقُلْ لَهُمَا قَوْلًا كَرِيمًا. And tell them the soft words. You know, one day I was telling my son, Rasulullah said, and I wish the young people would have been here. Rasulullah said, a believer, young man, is not supposed to walk ahead of his father. A believer, young man, should not take any food in his mouth before his father takes the food in his mouth. Rasulullah ki hadith, you could quote me if you wish. Rasulullah said that a believing young man, he never says anything before his father. And he does not interject while his father is talking. It's very simple hadith. Tell your children now in England. See, they would perhaps laugh. What is this? وَخْفِزْ لَهُمَا جَنَاحَ الذُّلِّ. And these, they lower your wings of the humility to your father. जनाह الذُّلِّ. जिनाह कहते हैं विंग को. हम लोग के यहाँ जिना तो बहुत कॉमन नाम मतलब कि बड़ा नाम ना. जिना कहते हैं विंग को. So जनाह الذُّلِّ, the wing of humility, out of mercy. قُلْ رَبِّ ارْحَمْهُمَا كَمَا رَبَّيَانِي صَغِيرًا. So, O our Lord, have mercy on my parents as they brought me up while I was small. 2, no shirk. And number 2, nice to parents. But our irony is we don't teach our children these things. When they are small, this is what the deen was, isn't it? If you don't teach then what else do you expect in old age if they misbehave with you? And this, believe me, this is a story of every household. Almost every household. And remember also that a person becomes old, his psyche becomes distorted, abnormal. He thinks different, not normal. If my son, when I was young, once upon a time, when my son said something, I might take in a stride and I will prove my worth. Now that I have become old, I may have money, but I can't use it. I do not know how to use it, how to buy things, how to use the computer. Dependent. You have got money, still dependent, man. So in old age, you become dependent. Physical dependence, psychological dependence. And in that age, if my son says the same word which he told me when I was young, completely different meaning. I will burn from inside because I have become old, you know. That's the reason my son, I have become useless, no good, not able to earn money, not able to help them. That's the reason he's telling like this, isn't it? So I have become a burden on them. Completely different psyche. So if we did not teach our children, what else do you expect? It's not so Quran fault, Islam fault, it is our fault. Look, وَآتَ ذَا الْقُرْبَى حَقَّهُ. Give their due rights to your blood relatives. And again, when we live here, it's a very nuclear family, and that's it. Wal miskin, and the destitute and the poor. Wabna sabil. I must highlight this because read this and you may not be able to understand, most of the people. Wabna sabil, raste ka beta in Urdu, or son of the way. But wabna sabil actually means traveler. So why travelers so much important? Everywhere, blood relative given, the poor and the wayfarer. What is that? Let me tell you here. Umar Farooq Rizalano is standing. Another person is there. And he's talking, this another person. He's talking about the third person and praising him. Remember this. So in Islam, backbiting is wrong. Haram. But praising someone behind his back is appreciated usually, isn't it? But this is Umar Farooq Rizalano. So he was praising about someone behind his back. It's a good thing. No. It is Umar Farooq Rizalano. He said, is he your neighbor? It will no. Have you done any business with him? It will no. It will. And have you traveled with him? It will no. It will. You got no business then to praise him. What? Even praising is not right. Because Umar Farooq Rizalano wanted to teach ignorant people like us how to form an opinion about a person that is worth praising. Does it make sense? In our community, everyone is good. I have told you once. When I heard the lady in front, and she knows that this person drinks alcohol, and she is talking, बहुत शरीफ आदमी है. I felt like I will faint. अगर शराफत यही है कि कमबख्त शराब पीता है, तो फिर अब उसके बाद रज़ालत क्या है, भटियारगी क्या है? Sharif admi. So here, yeah, this is a common, is a fitna, that you talk always good about a person and don't talk bad. So Umar Farooq Rizalano wanted to teach us that a person becomes very evident and clear about his character and personality when he travels. Why? Don't think of travel now. Think of travel in those days, in desert. When you are traveling, you have got this amount of food. Are you going to, there was no sort of a co-op or Tesco sandwich shop. There was nothing there. You got this. Are you going to share with the other colleague or not? You've got a small amount of water. Would you share that in that hot, scorching sun? You have got no shade, but the shade of a rock. So mountain, they had a lot of mountain and shade. If there is some shade, this shade you will use it only for yourself and kick the other out, or you will give him preference on yourself. You will prefer him. So the whole personality, his attitude to others becomes very evident. That's the reason. وَلَا تُبَذِّرْ تَبْذِيرًا, and do not be a spendthrift or wasteful. إِنَّ الْمُبَذِّرِينَ كَانُوا إِخْوَانَ الشَّيَاطِينَ. Certainly they spendthrift, the people who spend a lot, they are the brothers of shayateen. لِرَبِّهِ كَفُورًا, and for their Lord they are ungrateful. In other words, they don't spend in the way of Allah. They are very stingy and miserly and niggardly, but so far show off, I'm a big shot, what do you think? And therefore I've got to invite the people, and from here to there the entertainment and hospitality is a show off. What reward we should expect. وَإِمَّا تُرِزَنَّ عَنْهُمْ ابْتَغَاءَ رَحْمَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكَ. And if you turn the blood relatives or those away because you are expecting the mercy of your Lord, in other words, you are expecting that your risk you will get from somewhere, فَقُلْ لَهُمْ قَوْلًا مَّأْسُورًا. Then till that time, you tell them good words, easy words. Don't simply say, well, bas chale aaye darwaze par khade ho gaya karke, what is this? Don't say like that. Just simply say, look, I'm not in position at the moment. Let us hope that if I get, I will try to come back to you, so on. This is number 5. Number 6, وَلَا تَجَلْ يَدَكَ مَغْلُولَةً إِلَىٰ عُنُقِكَ. This is an Arabic phrase. Do not make your hand close to your neck. In other words, don't be stingy or miserly. وَلَا تَبْسُطْهَا كُلَّ الْبَسْطِ. Do not open your hand completely. فَتَقَدَ مَلُومًا مَّأْسُورًا. Then you will sit absolutely blameworthy and grieved and distressed. And the reason is, the one who just simply hands open, he might not leave anything for the children. This is not right. If he can leave, he should not leave his children destitute or poor. This as a general rule I am telling, because here I must make it clear that Umar bin Abdul Aziz Rahmatullah Alayh, he did not leave anything for his children. Most of the people accept him as a 5th rightly guided caliph. In other words, they bring him very closer to 4 rightly guided caliph. He does not he did not leave anything for his children. Remember that, for Wirasa. And the Hisham bin Abdul Malik, the other Umayyad Khalifa, he left so much for his children. And the world saw with eyes that Umar bin Abdul Aziz, rahmatullah alayhi, his son, he is giving 500 horses in jihad, another 500 in jihad, another 500. It keeps on. The blessing and barakah from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, although his father, Umar bin Abdul Aziz, rahmatullah alayhi, left nothing in Wirasa, but they became so rich. And the other, Hisham bin Abdul Malik, he left so much in Wirasa, and his children, they became beggar. One of them was found begging, became so. So in other words, we should always, if we have got children, we should live for them if we can. But the most important thing is we should always invoke Allah for barakah in their life. Inna rabbaka yabsutu rizq liman yasha. Certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala expands or increases the provision for whoever he wills. Wa yaqdiru, and he restrains. Innahu kana bi ibadihi khabiran basira. Certainly he is all aware and he is seeing which of his servant needs more or less. He is testing both. The one who has got more. This is a common mistake even now in the Muslim community. If someone has got more money or a better position, the people think that Allah is happy with them. They are absolutely wrong. But the people who have got less money, they think that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala somehow is upset with him. This is absolutely wrong. We must make it clear, must understand it very clearly, explicitly. The people who have got more money, Quran itself says that number one, it is a test. He is testing. What does he do with his money? It is all for himself. إِنَّهُ كَانَ فِي أَهْلِهِ مَسْرُورًا. He was only happy with his family, or whoever has got their share in his wealth, he is giving the due share to others as well. That is one. Number two, he is always scared of accountability. Number three, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives more and more and more. And then after that, just simply pulls the rope. Does with one person, individual, and does with the qawm. He gives more and more first. So they keep on getting more and more and more, and then after Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, which Quran used the word istadraj. So nastadrijuhum. So we keep on giving them, and then after that we pull the rope. That's it. So we have to be very careful. So that is 6. Number 7. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا أَوْلَادَكُمْ خَشْيَةَ إِمْلَاقٍ. Do not kill your son or children because of poverty, fear of poverty. Number 8. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا الزِّنَا. Do not go close to adultery or fornication. Did you see that now? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not say do not commit. Do not go close. What does that mean? Close means a strange or ghair mahram mard or a woman, they should not be together in a closed room. Yeah? And I'm telling you, you will find me there. so what can I say? That's the way the culture is. It's very difficult. I'm in my clinic, I'm doing clinic, a patient is there, and there is no one there. Nurse is supposed to be, nurses coming and going or whatever. But at least we should try to avoid. Similarly, co-sitting. Why we have to do the co-sitting? I do not understand. And if we can't, at least a small curtain, and if not, somehow segregation. Or shadi, whenever we have got a marriage, we always say the people develop 2 horns in their head. Do sing nikal aata hai shadi ke din. The person who comes here to the mosque, very punctual, but that day you have to just see him, look at him, what he looks like. Bizarre and strange. Namaz ke liye koi jagah nahi. I've seen all this. Now alhamdulillah, it's getting better. Namaz ke liye koi jagah nahi. So salah does not come into equation. Today because shadi, so it is maaf. What is this? So, and the woman and the man sitting together. Where does that come from? Why they have to sit? Not only in the marriage, even in my home. Why we can't sit alone? And there are some men, they would not feel happy unless they go to the woman's side. Even if you have just somehow one excuse or the other, listen to, and he's talking to his wife, but somehow he's putting in. He's, aadmi hai, chuchundar hai kam wakht. So, what is this? So keep remember now. وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ الَّتِي حَرَّمَ اللَّهُ وَلَا تَقْتُلُوا النَّفْسَ. Do not kill anyone. وَلَا تَقْرَبُوا مَالَ الْيَتِيمِ. Do not go to the wealth, property or asset of an orphan. So that is 10. Number 11. وَأَوْفُوا بِالْعَهْدِ. And fulfill your promises and covenants. إِنَّ الْعَهْدَ كَانَ مَسْئُولًا. Whatever promise or contract or covenants you make, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is going to ask about it. You see that now? Number 12. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ إِذَا كِلْتُمْ وَزَنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. And fulfill and fill the measure, give full measure when you measure it, and do with the scale a straight. In other words, full weight. Now I must emphasize this. Who is going to measure these days? No one measures. सरात जो मुस्तकीम का जो मामला है ना, क़िस्तास मुस्तकीम, डंडी, अब डंडी से कौन तोलता है? Everyone you got digital things. Remember, measure and weight, it involves the whole business, commerce, trade, everything inside. You must understand this. Everything is inside. It comes under this heading. Weighing and measuring, everything comes under this heading. So therefore, whatever we do, but are we supposed to be the people who are reliable in business, in trading, in commerce, in giving the, okay, so I will finish this order by 10th of May. I'm not reliable. You will be surprised. I was in Riyadh, very dear friend of mine, local for that place. Be a very big shot, but I can't tell more. And we were sitting together. I told you, if you tell me that I'm going to give you a job in August next year, and this will be your salary, and a person in England, he tells me the same thing, that I will give you the job in August, this much salary, you would not believe. I'm going to believe you. I'm going to believe that person who drinks alcohol and who does all sorts of other things. We have come to this level. His face was red. I told him, I'm telling you truth. And that is true. So, who believes us? If an Englishman goes and tells in India or Pakistan or Bangladesh or Sri Lanka or Philippines or Burma or wherever that this will be your salary and you could start next year, June or whatever, you could rely on it. But if a Muslim, happening for ages, they from the Arab world, they go to Karachi, Lahore, or Islamabad, to Delhi, Mumbai, Lanka, Sri Lanka, wherever. They say something else, they give something else. Isn't it? Common practice. It all comes under this heading. So no wonder the world hates us. Because as a Qawm, we have not given them we have not proved ourselves to be a good ambassador of Islam. Whenever there is a question of money, it comes in the pocket, let it be. And then I will go and pray. The person has got, mashallah, this big beard. He comes to the mosque, he takes a rushwa. Rasulullah said, Ar-Rashi wal-Murtashi fin-nar. The one who takes bribe and who gives bribe, they will go to hell. So there is something wrong with our understanding of Islam, isn't it? That's the reason there is no beauty in it. So we come to England or to America and we see the things like this. This looks very good. You could rely on things. You could wait for justice to be done. There is no question if my car gets into trouble with another Englishman car on the road, believe me, everyone knows that I will get justice. Exception, we don't talk about it. But we expect justice. If it is my fault, his fault. In your own country, you will not expect justice. He's from north, he's from south, he's from east, he's from the west, he's from this tribe, he's from that tribe. Some source, some this, some that, some wasta. No adl, zulm everywhere, corruption everywhere. And yet he prays. So I think that we must understand, what is the importance of this? We must understand that we have gone wrong. I always think that there is something wrong with us. So many people pray. Millions and millions of people, they do dua. But why we have got no weight? Why we have got no respect, no izzah? Because there is grossly abnormal with us. We have gone somewhere grossly abnormal. Fundamentals is wrong. We have emphasized certain things and we have not emphasized at all. As a matter of fact, we have taken these things as not religious. Religious means something, it should look like as if you are doing ibadah. وَأَوْفُوا بِالْعَهْدِ. Look, in ahd, every time I talked, أَوْفُوا بِالْعَهْدِ. Talk about ahd. Fulfill your ahd. Fulfill your ahd. Aji Allah. So it is so important, but we don't. وَأَوْفُوا الْكَيْلَ إِذَا كِلْتُمْ وَزِنُوا بِالْقِسْطَاسِ الْمُسْتَقِيمِ. وَلَا تَخْفُ مَا لَيْسَ لَكَ بِهِ عِلْمٌ. Do not follow what you do not know. Do not follow a thing which you are not aware of what it is. In other words, first of all, find it out. السَّمْعُ وَالْبَصَرُ وَالْفَوَاتُ كُلُّ أُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ عَنْهُ مَسْئُولًا. The hearing and the eyesight and the heart, everything you are going to be accountable, you are going to be asked question about. How did you use it? وَلَا تَمْشِي فِي الْأَرْضِ مَرْحًا. This is the last. And do not walk on the earth with arrogance. ذَلِكَ مِمَّا أَوْحَىٰ إِلَيْكَ رَبُّكَ مِنَ الْحِكْمَةِ. These are the ones, these are 14 things you saw. These are the ones which have been revealed by Allah, your Lord, out of wisdom. وَلَا تَجْعَلْ مَعَ اللَّهِ إِلَٰهًا آخَرَ. Again, do not associate partner with Allah. فَتُلْقَىٰ فِي جَهَنَّمَ مَلُومًا مَدْحُورًا. Then you will be thrown and hurled into the hell, blameworthy and away from the mercy. I think I should stop here. But I have not finished. Surah Bani Israel, जिसको कहते हैं ना शाहकार है बिल्कुल. Well, no, one ayah I will read so that you go from here happy. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقَّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلَ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. And say that the haqq has come and the batil has become effaced. मिट गया है, बातिल मिट गया है ना, has become effaced, has lost. Innal batil kana zahuqa. Certainly batil and the falsehood is there to be effaced and to be removed and to be finished. I finish here by giving you, do you recall anywhere related to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam particular incidents? Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam Fateh Makkah, he does. Bilal Habshi Razulullah anhu, he asked Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, ask Bilal Habshi Razulullah anhu, go on the roof of the Kaaba, and he recites from there, وَجَعَ الْحَقِّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is breaking those statues, 360 statues which were there, that the haqq has came, the falsehood has effaced, has gone now, and the falsehood is there to go out or to be destroyed. So Allah Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is breaking those, and then قُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقَّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلِ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. While I am here, let me tell you something more. The Arabs saw this with like this sense of awe. What's going on? Because the Arabs, you know, when Rasulullah entered Makkah, most of them, they fled away to the mountains, where they were scared. They knew what the victorious army does. So they were, and what they have done to Rasulullah. So they were scared, they fell to mountain. Some of them, they left. They were there. So they saw with their eyes Bilal Habshi, a slave and a black man. Where is he? On the roof of Kaaba. You heard that? So they could not believe their eyes that a slave and a black man is on the roof of Kaaba. Look at the respectability of Umar Farooq Razulullah anhu used to call him Sayyidina, my Sayyid, my leader. Umar Farooq Razulullah anhu used to call Bilal Habshi Razulullah anhu. You didn't hear the climax. Nizam Hyderabad in India, Hyderabad. Every year there used to be Seerah conference, Seeratul Nabi conference, Miladul Nabi conference. Every year, big conference, where Nizam Hyderabad himself used to be there. There used to be thousands and thousands of these conferences, but one of them, the biggest, where the Nizam himself is sitting there, and Maulana Manazir Hasan Gilani Rahmatullah Alayh, he was the head of the Islamiyat in Nizamiya University. So he used to give lecture on Seeratul Nabi. This is worth. So he is giving the lecture on Seerah al-Nabi. Maulana Razil Hasan Gilani Rahmatullah Alayhi, Nizam Hyderabad is sitting. Nizam Hyderabad, perhaps some people who do not know well, not only the richest person on earth on his time, 40 car full of gold and the tire bursts. It remained outside his house, inside the boundary wall, but outside the palace it remained. I mean, he was so rich, I can't sort of tell you how rich he was. Just simply go and punch, and then you will be able to find. So, this Sheikh, Maulana Manazir Salgidari Rahmatullah Alayhi says, whoever has got whatever relationship, Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam say, whatever relationship he got, that level he went higher up. जिसका जिस कदर ताल्लुक़ रसूलुल्लाह सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम से बन गया, उसी कदर ऊंचा बुलंद हो गया. So in other words, anyone whose name attached to Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he became big. And I tell you, if the sole of the shoe of Bilal Habshi radhiyallahu anhu is found now, this king will find reverence to an extent that he will take all the jewels and the diamonds out and he will put the sole on his crown. And then the Nizam Hyderabad, he kept on saying, yes, yes, beshak, certainly, there's no question about it. In other words, he is willing to put the soul of Bilal Habshi radhiyallahu anhu on his crown and take the diamonds out. That's the whoever has got any relationship with Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that's the level of that person. He went elevated. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us some insight. I'm just trying to give you, this is not the, I'm not giving the full picture, what it is in Quran. But if you get and feel, so this is also in Quran, this is also in Quran, and this particular issue has been emphasized so much, and that's what the believer should have the qualities. If you get that feel, then you realize that we are doing afatu'minuna biba'zil kitab wa takfaruna biba'z. We are really doing worship a very limited amount, because everything is worship. Having a relationship with the wife is ibadah, remember that. And I'm not telling out of my head. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was asked, Ya Rasulullah, having relationship with the wife is also ibadah? He told, well, okay then. If he does the same thing with another woman, what it is? Isn't it a sin? He told, yes. He told, then he is fulfilling his needs with his wife. So can't it be ibadah? The Sahaba then understood it. So we have to understand that whatever position we are ambassador of Islam. This hat we have to be all the time wearing, so that this character reflects. When we talk, softly. When we say something, truth. I'm taken as reliable in my office, as a dependable person, as a person who is trustworthy. My Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was trustworthy. I'm a person who is truthful. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam was sadiq. I'm a person who is taken that he has got a soft heart. He's got a soft tongue. He cannot betray. He is the person who fulfills. He is the person who is forgiving. He is the person who shows forbearance. He is very tolerant. He is a different person. If I'm in a position to portray that image, I think you are a winner. You're a good ambassador. Whatever is within my limit, I should do. The rest, whatever is not in my limit, well, what can I do about it? But we must try to take this message in a way as it was done before. Because Rasulullah said, Bada al-Islam ghariba. Remember both very famous hadith. Bada al-Islam ghariba. Islam has started as a stranger. Wakama sa'uda ghariba. And it will become again a stranger. Here, I've got, look, this mobile is full of all the shaykh you all know. If you do between Salat al-Asr and Salat al-Maghrib, these three dua, the risk will rain from the sky that you will not be able to count. If you do 2 ayah, it will happen like this. That's all sorts of things. Of course it will. But keep quiet and do in your home. This is not something to take a message. Is this the one, these 3 ayah has come to have more risk or to have more health? Go ahead and ask the benefit, invoke Allah for all this. But don't try to make too much out of it. The main thing is, I have to follow what is in there. I have to understand it before that. Then only I could live by it. But that is not in my agenda. My agenda, shortcut Islam talk about. And shortcut Islam is this, and coming to the mosque, and fasting, and doing some nafil sadaqah. What else do you want, man? If that is the case, one page of Quran would suffice. Why so much? Why so many stories of the previous nation? To make us understand, to talk and appeal to our reasoning faculty, to convince our psyche, the way we think. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless us. رَبَّنَا إِنَّنَا آمَنَّا فَاغْفِرْ لَنَا ذُنُوبَنَا وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ.